keep doing that for a period of 2-3 months, as long as you can do it. That's one of the positive effects, is that it also teaches you to live in the now. Now, this is something that the great masters always teach, and it's about being in the present. And this is a practical way that you can use to be in the present. And I think you'll find the more you do it, the more you'll develop yourself to be on a path of happiness and develop your level of consciousness, because happiness and consciousness go hand in hand. So, what are the reasons for laughter? Well, there's many and varied reasons for laughter. You can laugh because something's funny, of course. You can laugh because it's better than crying. And believe me, I've done that a lot. I went through quite an extraordinary divorce, and during that time I spent quite a bit of time laughing about it, because it was either that or I cry. And nobody wants to see people crying, I'd say. Mirror neurons. Now, we'll get into the mirror neurons a little bit later, but that's an interesting concept. You can laugh because something's serious and you don't really know why you're laughing, or possibly because you're embarrassed about something and you don't really know why you're laughing. You might not be able to stop. So this is a physiological effect of how your brain, sometimes people block out bad memories and stuff like that, and they do that, their brain does that because it's too traumatic. So it's the same sort of mechanism that works there with that. And the other reason that you can laugh is that you can make a conscious choice to laugh. Now, the next slide is a slide with a link on it. So what I want everyone to do is just take a couple of minutes. Now, the link is just a couple of minutes long, and I want to show you that it is absolutely and ultimately possible to laugh for no reason whenever you want. And then when we come back, I'll do a few live renditions for you. Oh, yes, okay, well, it wasn't that slide, but maybe the next one. But there you go. The most important reason to laugh is because you choose to. And once you can do that, then you can laugh at anything, which is ultimately the goal.
Ian, is it possible for you to laugh on command?
That's the goal, Pixie. The goal is to laugh for no reason, have no reason to laugh, just be able to laugh whenever you want.
Well, let's have a try with this, shall we?
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
Can you do it again? And one more time for the camera.
So there you have it, folks. How do you laugh at nothing? That's how you laugh at nothing.
We're going to talk about the difference between kids and adults, and why is it that kids laugh up to 400 times a day and adults laugh average 5-10 times a day. And there's a few reasons for these, but one of them you would most likely expect is that It's got to do with brain chemistry. Now, a little kid doesn't have constant stresses. They get up in the morning, or most little kids, they get up in the morning and they come out and their mum's giving them breakfast and they go play, and that's it. So they obviously have a very well balanced brain chemistry. Whereas adults, when you get into the older years, you'll see, or most people tend to develop high levels of stress in jobs and worry about where they're going to feed, how they're going to feed their kids and stuff like that. The other amazing thing about kids is that they see the wonder in everything. Stuff that we just totally take for granted, they see as amazing and wonderful and new. And it's possible for you and everyone else to be able to see everything every time you see it as new. In fact, every time you listen to a piece of music, you're listening to it, or at least your brain is listening to it as though it's the first time you've listened to it. Because when you do listen to a piece of music, the neural pathways in your brain, some of them are new. You'll hear different little sounds in the song of each time you listen to it, and then that pathway's there. So next time you listen to it, that pathway gets stronger and stronger, and then you listen to it again and it's like new. There's a new sound. So it's possible to do that through your whole life. You're able to always see the new and the exciting in everything, and that's what children do. And the other big thing they do is live in the now. So why is it different for adults? Well, we're going to go into a little bit of the chemistry behind what happens to you when you're under long periods of constant stress. Now basically you'll see here a series of pictures, and it can be quite difficult to understand, but I've found a way to explain it in a way that's fairly easy to understand. So I'll just read for you. Normally, in response to stress, the brain's hypothalamus secretes a hormone that causes the pituitary gland to secrete another hormone that causes the adrenals to secrete cortisol. So basically, cortisol and or adrenaline is the drug that was used and is used in a flight or fight situation. So imagine 200-300 years ago you're walking through the jungle in India somewhere, and out from behind a tree comes a tiger, and your brain automatically kicks in the adrenaline and off you go like a bullet. And when you get far enough away from the threat, the hippocampus secretes some more hormones that cause the cortisol production to stop. So when levels of cortisol rise to a certain level, several areas of the brain, especially the hippocampus, tell the hypothalamus to turn off the cortisol producing mechanism. And it's a proper feedback response. It's like two taps, an acid and an alkaline. You turn one on, after a period of time you turn the other one off, it turns the acid tap off. The hippocampus is, and this is an interesting and poignant point, is that the hippocampus is the area most damaged by cortisol. So what happens is, if you're constantly under stress, you've got stresses in your work, or you've got depression, for example, anguish, stuff like that, your brain constantly is producing cortisol and epinephrines, and that damages the feedback loop mechanism, which is the hippocampus. Now, what does that actually mean? Basically, that's what you hear when you talk about people being in a spiral of depression, where they just go down and down and down, and they don't see that there's any way to get out of it. And what that is your brain constantly producing epinephrines, cortisol, adrenal and stuff like that, and becoming out of balance. And as I said, I was on copious amounts of Zoloft and Dothep and all the sort of stuff that they had me on, and I was on it for virtually on and off for a period of 10 years. Now,